Are you ready, guys?
Is it TT? Titan time?
It is Titan time. We're here. Okay, so we're here at the finale of Titan Time. Well, at least or the finale of Attack on Titan, final season, part one.
Part one. Yeah, let's get
You
that
see how I did
situated
that?
first.
You see how I did that? I'm a pro.
That was great.
The pause was perfect.
Absolutely, a very pregnant pause. Nonetheless, how do we feel? All right, so how did we
Oh
feel?
man.
The news was announced today that
Yeah.
there will be a part two to Attack on
Surprise.
Titan, the final season. It has been. I haven't been surprised. I knew from the kind of the pacing of the show that there's no way they could end this with 16
Yeah,
episodes.
for sure.
There was some sort of information when the season began that was kind of misleading with DVD releases in terms of like, oh, this is how many episodes going to be.
You
in
know
the
how
season.
it goes. Yeah.
I was just like, since when does DVDs dictate?
Because you know for a fact that when the final season comes out on Blu-ray, you're gonna have to buy it in two parts, maybe even three if they really want to get our money, and they're both gonna be like $60 each.
Yeah,
you know how it go, man.
Yeah, absolutely
Awful.
So we got the news this week that we're gonna have a part two that drops in winter 2022, which means I'm thinking a January release. January, yeah. I'm thinking. I'm expecting anywhere from 10 to 13 episodes left, considering the manga. Yes, I have read the manga, so I kind of know what's going to go on. Victoria, have you read the manga? I'm assuming no, because you don't have time to.
I have not read the manga.
Good for you. Good for you.
I'm gonna get it together one day.
No, don't.
No, you're getting it together. You're good.
I want to read more manga though. Like I have the Shonen Jump app, and I'm like, I'm doing it. I'm gonna do it, and then I catch up, and then like I'll stop or something.
Yeah, you know what helps? I don't know. I got it on an iPad. I like reading it in that sort of fashion because everything is kind of wider. I'm used to reading it on my phone, like if I'm on the train or something, like I'm reading it on my phone, and it's all kind of tiny. I mean, it is what it is, but now I got this kind of iPad and I'm reading it and I get to see all the full graphics and stuff like that. Jeff, I've been catching up on Jujutsu Kaisen, so I'm pretty much at the beginning of the Shibuya incident.
I'm reading My Hero.
So okay, look at you.
Yeah.
One day our paths will converge.
We're getting there, I promise.
We will have a discussion on this.
We'll have a big guys episode, just you and I.
Yeah, just easily. So with that said, let's talk about this because Victoria, you said you had some thoughts on the finale of the show. Has it changed now since there's been the reveal of like there's going to be a part 2 of the season, or just like you're still?
It definitely changed, and I'm kind of happy now because like same thing. I went in feeling like this is going to be a rushed ending no matter what they do, because like just the pacing of it, I was like something like there's not enough time to resolve all of these things unless you rush it. Mm-hmm. But I was like, you know what? It's the finale. I'm going in like they've done a good job so far. Let's see how they do it. And then at the end, I was like, that's it. I even had a Meelz like, I don't know if I watched the finale. Like, what?
You had to go back and make sure you missed no episodes.
No, she was like, I don't know if I watched the finale. Let me go back to this. And I was like, no, you watched the finale.
You watched the finale. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I looked it up and saw like they like just announced a part 2, and I was like, oh, okay, all right, okay,
a part 2.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, first thing I want to say about this episode was, I'm holding the door open for Yelena. I got the red carpet out. You know how like what's the movie where they throw your own jacket down, let her walk over the puddle? I would do that for her. That's how great this episode was. Fantastic. She was great in this one, man.
I mean, I would say if there was a star of this episode, I don't even know if she's a star of this.
I don't know if she's a star
because people.
That was great.
Listen, Pete came out with them.
Yeah, I'm about to say she was about it. She was really about it.
She came out of stage left. It kind of really took it over. But Yelena, all right. So let's kind of talk about that episode.
Let's talk about it.
And we'll talk about it. So the Jaegerists have formally kind of taken over everything and anything in the city, and they have started segregating people as they did in Marley, which I found very ironic.
As they did in the United States.
The Jaegerists are like, okay, they're separating people by armband that you have, and it says black. Well, Okay.
Here we go. That's what I'm talking about, bro.
I gotta have the black one, yeah.
Yeah.
So the black one is you didn't know a damn thing of what's going on. You were Bobo the fool. You didn't understand
That's not me. I'm not
anything.
wearing a black one.
You didn't drink. You drank the wine. Didn't know what's going on. Didn't care. Etc. Etc. The red one is that you drank the wine and now you switching sides.
Yeah, that seems like me. give me the red band. Put the red band on.
I'm rolling with the winners. I
kind of like this fluid tastes delicious.
I'm sorry, Commander
Spinal
Pixis.
fluid.
Please don't turn me into a Titan.
Yeah. Essentially. And then white means you've always been fake. You've been fake. You never.
Yeah, that's not me. I had to think about it.
You serve the wine to the people. Potentially, you may or may not have delivered an exploding chair to someone's office. Like that's what white.
I'm never getting over that chair. By the way, maybe the worst moment in Attack on Titan history right there.
Interesting. Well, let me ask you this, Victoria, since you're doing the show and we've been doing this for weeks. How have you felt about the 4th season thus far in the grand scheme of things compared to the rest of the show?
It was kind of left field for me because I binged it. So I watched season 1 like when it first came out, and then earlier this year I heard the last season was coming out. So I was like, let me binge it and catch up so I can watch the final season along with everybody. And so watching it has kind of been like, I think it might have been different if they had time between the seasons, but like going from like season 3 to season 4, I was like, wait, what's going on? I did kind of like it though, just because it brought back that kind of mystery angle. Because it's like, okay, why did Eren, switch over? Like, what's he doing, and like, what's going on? So, because at the end of season 3, I was like, okay, what's next? Like, they kind of like made it almost, quote unquote.
Yeah.
So I do like that they did kind of the shift into this, of Eren like kind of just completely doing a 180 on everybody. And just trying to figure out like what has happened in the past few years. But I don't know, it just feels like a different show sometimes.
This season did feel like a different show, just from like the perspective of how much the characters changed. I feel like I had so many lovable moments with a lot of these characters leading up to this season, and that's just just seeing them every episode or whatever. And now it's like you start to turn on a lot of these people, and then obviously people die. The Sasha thing really put a dent into everything that happened this season. So I definitely feel you on it feeling like a completely new show.
Well, everyone's changing. Everyone's showing a completely different side. Let's talk about the restaurant in jail, because everyone who was at the restaurant is now in prison. Armin can't use they're like, Armin, couldn't you just use the Colossal Titan to break us out? And it's like, do you want to die?
Yeah, it's like they don't know him or something. Like, have you not seen this thing on many occasions? It's a nuke.
What I did with the harbor? Like,
it's a nuke. Yeah,
it's
like,
literally called Colossal. Colossal.
So everyone's wondering, it's like, yo, I mean, this has been sort of the gist of the entire season, is that Eren has changed. We don't know what happened to him. Like, he's gotten hair in places he doesn't have hair before. His voice is getting deeper, all types of shit.
Extremely handsome.
And
man buns.
Man buns. He's like, yo, he's different. He's a different guy. To which, Mikasa and Armin has been like, nah, he's still our friend. Like, we just gotta go talk to him. And then, of course, they go talk to him, and, Eren 2 pieces. 2 pieces Armin calls Mikasa a slave.
Yeah, we should talk to him. That worked.
So, yeah, of course, they're in the prison. Jean's like, yo, so how'd that talk go? And he's like, listen.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. Like,
he's different. He just is. To which brings us Yelena, Onion, Capone, Grease.
Yelena. Amazon.
How did you feel about that? How did you feel about Onion Capone's? Yo, who's in jail now? Like, I bet y'all wish y'all were free now.
You caught that?
My man was like, yeah, y'all had me under house arrest. Like, I don't really feel that bad for you guys. I mean, it got pretty bad for an instant right there. But he's free. I mean, he's free. They're under house arrest. He's like, yo, are you gonna hate from outside the club? You can't even get in, to be honest with you. Let's talk about Grease a little bit. he doesn't have a large moment in the show. In fact, his moment is cut off very preemptively and very shortly. But the most egregious kind of speech that he ever had, I think the guy who ends up talking to Niccolo.
Oh man.
He has, where I quote, "You had the hots for a devil spawn who reeked of potatoes."
I wanted to jump into the anime at that point.
Yo,
I was very upset just hearing him say these. It's like, bro, have some respect, man. Somebody stepped up though.
And it's like, you're not even saying, like, you're saying in front of her parents, like in front of like her family, like this guy that loved her. Just no respect. No respect at all.
That's okay though.
I appreciate the resolve of her dad. I know her dad is like on this non-violence trip right now, but
that's okay.
Might have thrown a rock or a brick or something like that. I might have screamed. I might have exclaimed like, "You're an asshole" or something along those lines.
Yeah, I wouldn't have let him keep talking. That's for sure. I would have talked over him.
But with that said, Yelena murks him. Just off.
Yeah,
I love that. I was like low-key on her side for like 10 seconds. I was like, oh.
you can come on over.
Right.
Join the team.
Give me the band. Give me that red band.
She pulled the blammer out. Let me tell you something about Yelena. First of all, she's an Amazon, tall, lovely woman. She's about her game. She reminds me of Sailor Jupiter, by the way. I love Sailor Jupiter.
Yeah.
We'll talk about her another day. But pulls the blammer out, shoots this man in the head and says, "Sorry, he was being disrespectful." Like
she was essentially like, "We don't need people who are gonna call you guys devils." Essentially, like, we're all what Yelena believes that they're doing, and what she says is the plan. Even though I think Yelena is 100% insane.
She is
definitely
a little crazy. She says our goal is to end the cycle of hatred and save kind of all the Eldians. And how do you save all the Eldians? By euthanizing all the Eldians. Never being born will truly lead us to salvation. And everyone's just like, yo, you crazy. Okay, all right. Well, I have nothing more to say about Yelena and her plan.
It's a crazy plan, but I mean,
it will work.
It does make sense.
It's not insane.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's get to the other side of the coin, because we see Gabi, who has been, I guess, for the safety of herself and others, because I'm thinking if she was trapped in that jail, they might have stomped her out. I don't know.
I still feel the same way about her.
Or she might have thrown a brick, might have gotten in a fight, might have called someone a devil or something along those lines, got scrapped. Something along those lines. So she's by herself. Eren shows up. I'm not sure what Eren planned to do or planned a thing. Like, but Eren wanted her to call Marley and say, like, "Yo, I'm under attack. Like, what do you guys have planned to save me?" Something along those lines. Mm-hmm. And what he doesn't know is that Peak, because I guess he's never formally seen Peak in her non-Titan form.
Either. Yeah.
Well, he's seen of course, the Titan in season 3.
But not her regular.
Right. So he hasn't really seen her. So she shows up, stab right to the throat of some guard, shuts the door, pulls out a gun, and I'm like, wow, look at the women in this show really kind of taking charge and saying,
we love it.
Turning the tides.
Does Eren not know Gabi's name?
I don't think so. No.
When he walked in, he was like, "Hey, girl who killed Sasha." And I was like, "Damn, dude."
I mean, honestly, what else is she known for at this point?
That's very true. Very true.
That's all her importance is right now.
He knows Falco's name. He's like, "Yo, Falco. If you want to say Falco, do this." But Gabi, he's like, "Yo, girl who killed Sasha." I feel him. Peak. We get an exchange here. This is how. All right, I've been continuing the narrative that not only is Yelena is insane, but on a meter of insanity, she might be a strong 9. I think Eren is. No, I'm thinking. Eren is a strong 12.
Yeah, I think he's completely lost his whole. Yeah. The way he reacted towards Peak in this situation, basically nonchalant. She's like,
hands out of your pockets, and what if I don't?
Yeah. What and.
And not only that, he leans his forehead into the gun and says, "If you're gonna kill me, you would have killed me by now.
I'm a top dog. You can't
kill me.
You can't kill me."
And with Gabi pointing the rifle at him from behind,
so he don't even care
just
about
like
that.
Reckless.
Yeah.
And Gabby A1 with the
Yeah, she
She could
does
shoot.
not give a damn about the plan.
yeah.
She could shoot.
Mhm.
But essentially, I love that part of Aaron saying, "Listen, you're not going to kill me." And P says, "Listen, if you use the founding Titans power, could you defeat Marley?" To which Gabi's like, "Yo, what is going on here? These adults, it's like Rugrats or something. It's like these adults are fucking everything up. What is going on here? Like, is this what's going to happen when I get older? That I'm just going to start turning on all my friends?"
It's like they're undoing everything they taught her. They were like, "This is the way. This is it. This is it." And now she's like, "Wait, what are you guys doing? You're going against everything you told me is right."
And I think what's one of the funniest thing is, like, Commander Pixar says a couple episodes ago, the best way to tell a lie is to mix in a bit of truth within it. And that's what Pete kind of does in this instance, when she kind of like, she's talking to Aaron and she's talking to Gabi, and she's like, "Gabi, listen, are we Marlians or are we Eldians?" And she's like, "We're honorary Marlians." And she's like, "No, we turn into Titans. They're never going to use us." Like, obviously people are beginning to overcome Titans with technology. There's going to reach a point where they no longer need Titans and they're going to kill us all. We need to figure out a way of how we're going to save ourselves. To which Aaron, who I'm assuming is over in the corner, probably pricking himself on a brick or like a piece of wood or something, pulls up his finger and is like, "Yo."
He probably keeps a needle in his pocket or something.
I think he's probably cutting his own skin with his fingernail. This dude is weird, man. He's out of control.
He's got to keep something to cut his hand, something to cut his finger, something to cut something. Nonetheless, he's like, "Hey, you know what this means, right? Titan time. Anytime.
I'm bleeding. It hurts. I'm in pain."
So they make an agreement. And it's like, "Listen, if you jump on our side, and if you show us where, all your spies are in the city, and if you do all that, then, we'll seemingly work together." But none of these sides truly trust one another at this point. Which brings us to the ambush. I love this part. I'll be honest with you. I pre-read this a week ago to prepare for this finale of Titan Time. And then I ended up reading the rest of the manga because it gets so damn good. But we got to the part where they handcuff Peek and Gabi to one another so they can't transform. So if she does transform, she kills Gabi. Which I really... At this point in the show, it's like, well...
Transform.
Honestly, I thought she was going to still. Because like, everyone's so ruthless in this show. I was like, at this point, like, that's not going to stop nobody.
Yeah. What I didn't like is when they showed Galliard down in the cut. I was like, you gave it away.
You didn't like that?
No, I was like, you gave it away. Because I don't even think they do that in the manga, to be honest with you. Because I reread the manga. I was like, they don't show Galliard down there. You just under the assumption that there's more people. But they don't show him like give a little wink with the thing. So when it actually happens, so when the final part happens, they walk up to the roof of, I guess this building. Nonetheless, they meet up. They got Yelena, they got everybody there, guards, etc., etc. Peek walks over to the edge, and she's like, and Aaron's like, "Yo, point us out to our enemies," and she turns around and points to Aaron, and then
Aaron's like, "Oh, come on!"
The floor collapses beneath them. Titan time. The jaw Titan emerges from the ground. He bites off Aaron's leg, and Aaron, who is mad that he's even got to this point, he's like, "Yo, I've been in control this far. This is ridiculous." And he's also like, "I haven't turned into a Titan and punched somebody in the face for at least 2 weeks. Yeah, it's time." So he turns into a Titan. It's the rematch. And that's kind of, we see everyone's kind of rolling in. It's the plan that they planned out for probably like 6 episodes beforehand of like, we can't wait 6 months to go get these people. We need to go in now. So the Marleyan army, they're preparing. They've got the tanks. They've got the blimps. They've got everything sort of coming in. They've gotten the Titans on the ground. And, the final shot of this season, thus far, part 1 of the season, is Aaron looking up at the blimp and knowing that Reiner's up there, knowing that it's time for the rematch. That's been, this has been built at least once per season. They're scrapping. So
I'm kind of tired of that, honestly. I'm like, can y'all just figure? Every time it's like so close, and it's like, nope, I'm back. Like, yeah. Can y'all figure this out? Like,
and Reiner never wins. By the way, he never wins.
Never.
I was like, you don't just, and like last time he was even like kind of defeated ahead of time. Like he was kind of gave up. So I was like, okay. Then he was like, nah, I'm gonna try again. Like,
Right.
There are a lot of false finishes. I would
mm-hmm.
say that a good bit. We watched it. We see this a lot with this show. It's like the really, really, really important characters that are, obviously Titans.
Mm-hmm.
They never really die.
Same
Yeah.
thing with Levi and Zeke. Like I thought, I was
Oh
like, this
man, don't
time
even get
I
me
was like,
started.
for sure, he's gone. Yeah.
Did we even talk about Zeke getting put in his stomach?
Nah.
I was gonna say, let's talk about the status of kind of everyone in the show that's left thus far, because of course we started off the episode, which yeah, I 100% skipped. It's on my notes and I completely skipped it because I was ready to talk about Titans. So Zeke, after the last episode, which I watched literally right before this, which I thought was a great, amazing episode. Yeah, he is blown. I mean, I was about to say he's blown away by this entire situation. He is
Good one. I like that. Good one.
No, it's not. It's I could have done better. He's willingly accepting death in this sort of situation, to which a Titan rolls up, a random Titan out of nowhere shows up, opens up their stomach, and puts him inside, similar like a kangaroo or a Kangaskhan or whatever the hell, Chansey. I don't know, whatever.
Didn't know this was possible.
Um, let's talk about the status of kind of everywhere in this episode. Zeke, I guess, not dead.
Not dead. He's in a stomach. He's okay.
I also wonder, like, I'm like, does that, like, I know they didn't eat him, but I'm like, shouldn't that do the same thing? Because they're in the stomach. But
I'm sure that's why the Titan did it that way, because swallowing it, I assume, wouldn't have been good.
yeah.
So I'm assuming he hasn't been, unless they announced that he's. I mean, Attack on Titan is very, very sure on themselves when someone's dead.
Yeah.
They are very when someone's dead. So Zeke not confirmed dead. Levi, we are not sure what happened. We have not seen once again. If
He's
you haven't
alive.
seen a body, we're not fully sure of the situation. Hanji and the rest of the Jaegerists are still kind of, surveying the situation. The main character gang in jail currently, as Titans are fighting above them, fighting around them, other type of situation. I'm sure they're like, Armin, do you want to turn into a Titan now? He's like, no, everyone will still die. And we've got this entire situation. I feel like, at least towards the end of the season, I thought, considering I've read what it is, I thought this was the best part to kind of end the season, because from here on out, it is on another level consistently throughout the rest of the show.
Oh, great.
Make me want to read the manga now.
I feel like it's always on a level.
No. But how they have of course we had the episode 5 where Eren meets Reiner, he turns into a Titan, they attack the city, blah blah blah. Right, it's kind of on that level the entire time for the rest of the show, because there's a lot of things that go down. There's a lot of people who are involved in this. I think the idea of everyone has their plan on what they believe should happen to the existence of Marley. The rumbling is still a very much so realistic opportunity. A lot of characters have been introduced to the show. Where do they end up from there? A lot of people have, because this is Attack on Titan, a lot of people may not make it out of the show because I guess they have to meet a death quota per season.
Gotta have it. It's only right.
Yeah. January 2022 is where I'm assuming this is going to pick up, and I think it's going to be, once again, it's going to be must-see television, trending every week. It gives me, not as if I didn't have a reason to live, I need to see out the end of this.
Right, you're like, I must stay healthy.
I must stay healthy.
Attack on Titan comes back.
Backs me up, something. I need to make sure that I am here to see how the show, at least animated, sort of ends. Everyone's thought, but Jeff, let's start with you in terms of your thoughts and kind of how do you feel about where we're at in the show?
I wasn't upset with this being, the finale of part 1, especially with, I'm taking your word for it as far as things heating up after this. The wait is the wait. I mean, it's anime, so I'm fine with that. But I actually think that this was really great television as far as just the story that they told in this short period of time. Obviously, I know it will come together on the second half, but to me, I'm still on this quest of like, I do feel like Attack on Titan is very, very close to competing and like truly just being the greatest of all time. And I mean that. I'm not just saying it because of where the show is and the hype of it and everyone's watching it or whatever, but everything that they've given us, this story, I said it before, it gives me that Game of Thrones, stories everywhere, characters everywhere, people dying that you didn't think were going to die. I mean, it's so in depth. I think this part 2 will cap it off for sure. Maybe we'll get a movie or something. I don't know, but in general, I honestly, I think Attack on Titan is it's one of one, man. It's in this season right here really shows the diversity and like just how much things have changed since starting this shit, man. So yeah, I loved how it played out, and I can't wait for part 2.
Yeah, Victoria, any closing thoughts on this Attack on Titan final season part 1?
Yeah, I mean, originally I was like, what is this cliffhanger? Especially since like I've been binging. Like today I watched like the last few episodes that came out, so I was just like in a vibe, and it kind of just cut it short. But knowing that there's going to be season 2, and I mean a part 2, and hearing what you said about how it kind of takes off from here, it seems like this was a good place for it to kind of stop and like give us a rest, and then have us like watch the rest. Hopefully it comes out in January. But yeah, I like it. I'm definitely gonna be watching when it comes back. I also agree. Like I think it's in the GOAT contenders up there. Like you said, Game of Thrones, Full Metal Alchemist, Brotherhood. Like it's that great of a show, and I'm really excited. Like all the things that it does with like showing us how like war can be interpreted is not what I was expecting going into the show from the first season.
No, definitely.
But the moment like you thought Eren died in the first season, like I was like, okay, this show is good.
Absolutely. Expect us. I don't know if this goes without saying, but I'm going to say this. Expect us to be covering the show in full before it ends. Is what I'll say. When will we find the time to re-binge the show and kind of talk about it on the full thing? Not sure yet, but expect it definitely before
we'll find it.
This second part of the final season. Also want to warn everybody formally.
Warning.
Because not sure when the next episode of this podcast will be, but by the time probably the next episode of this podcast drops, the finale of Attack on Titan will have been, I don't know, manga-ized, written, drawn. I don't know. It will be out. It will be released nonetheless.
Yeah,
mangafied.
Yeah,
mangafied.
It will be drawn and will be released nonetheless. So I'm just saying, if you don't want any spoilers, do not click on that trending topic, because I'm sure they will spoil it.
They will.
The final chapter is expected to be 139. It's expected to drop at the top of April. And that's how kind of we're going to get the show from there, the whole layout of the show from there. So, just expect spoilers, expect things, try to dodge it as much as you can, unless you want to read the manga. Honestly, I recommend everyone read the manga. I really don't care if you want to wait for the anime, but I think the manga has some great stuff, and I think you're going to be locked in for a full afternoon, evening, late hours reading this, because they do such a great job in this show of like leaving you with enough of a cliffhanger to make you say like, fuck, let me just read one more. Let's get into My Hero Academia season 5.
Yes. We're here.
My Hero Academia season 5. We're going to talk about the premiere episode right up next, so you guys stay tuned.